Welcome back to Live and Dirty at 5:30. We weren't here last week because Jamie was out of town, so Jamie is back.
I'm back.
And we're back.
Dennis is here. He's first.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, so welcome back, everybody. If it's your first time to a Live and Dirty at 5:30, thanks for being here. And what this is we give you a chance once a week for about an hour to ask questions about projects, tools, any questions you have, and we'll do our best to answer it. So there might be a little bit of a distraction at some point. Tom is back in town helping on the MG, so he might walk through. So if you see somebody walking behind me or anything else, that's who it is. Or if you want to ask Tom a question, we can yell for him and he can be on as well.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done so yet, hopefully you guys have listened to the podcast, season 4, episode 2, with Tom that was dropped last week.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I like hearing all of his land speed stories.
Yeah. So Jeff is here and he says thanks. So he must just be here early. And then Ray Cole Jr. is here too.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Dennis, of course, is in the house.
Yeah.
And Rich Strauss is here. He said hi.
Hello.
So we got a handful.
Yeah, so
thanks for joining.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure to get those coming and Jamie can handle it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Get those asked. And I was going to say the furnace is probably going to be a little loud, but it's cold outside, so I'm not turning it off this week.
Yeah. Gabe is here. He said good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
Mike Daniels is here. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's how cold? It's like 25.
Yeah, it's a heat wave compared to what it has been, but it was
Yeah.
still -3 when I left the house this morning.
And it's supposed to be like 34 tomorrow, which is like, I know, if it rains, if it's above freezing for a little bit, things will start to melt.
Yeah, it's been below 20 degrees for the past 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, a long time.
It's been miserable.
Michael Anderson's here. Hello from Australia. Dennis wants to know how my trip was. So Dennis, funny story. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the weather here, but went to Florida, to Sarasota area, and it was 55 degrees and 30 degrees in the morning there too. So even though I was in Florida, I had to turn the heat on there too. It was a little chilly. Made packing interesting for sure. So Ray wants to know any update on the work being done to the MG?
Yeah, we can walk back. Like, we can't go in the back.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't gotten better internet, but at least then you might be able to see it while we talk about it. So I have the ice water tank is done. Just trying not to walk.
Into stuff?
Well, I was trying not to turn my back on the camera.
Okay.
So I think you can see it peek back there. I got the ice water tank modifications done. So the new fill, inlet, outlet, cool suit bungs put in, the mounting tank or the mounting tray made, the mounting straps made. So we're going to try to get that put in this weekend, everything plumbed, and started working on some of the electrical stuff for the charger port that goes in the taillight. I got all of that finished, and well, the light assembly is finished, so I just got to wire it in, and yeah, anything else on the list we can try to get done.
Yeah, on Zoom.
Yeah. So Tom's back there working on taking...
Yeah, we can see him walking in the background.
Yeah, he's working on taking...
Somewhere back there.
The intercooler pump was at the front of the car, so it has a really nice Motec wiring harness in it. So we're trying to undo that wire, back pull it, and shorten it up a little bit. All of the interior panels that I had powder coated, I think I had 15 or 20 panels powder coated. Those are all cleaned back. Radiator, I shipped that out yesterday to have a new radiator built. New axles are being made by Dutchman. I should have those next week. What else? Some of the rear end stuff showed up today, so I'm going to drop it off tomorrow to have the new differential built. Talked to Haltech, and we're going to get a Haltech data logging system and digital dash. So hopefully I'll have that in a couple weeks, and we can start putting everything back together. So we're moving right along. It's just a lot of work in a lot of different systems.
Yeah, you kind of see Tom back there a little bit. So T Saint said hello, and Jeff Bonifield, do you know him? He said, tell Tom to chime in. Won't see him or you until August. So he must be a Bonneville guy.
Yeah.
And then Dennis said the tank looks nice. I thought the tank looked really nice too. So
yeah, and what I'll probably do is, since we can't go back there without losing signal for the live, I'll probably do a recap on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll post it on Sunday, but it'll get
film it.
posted. Yeah, we'll film it because I've been kind of thinking we've been doing a lot of the Watson trailer fender videos because I got them all filmed within a couple weeks, so they were spaced out. We could do a recap on the MGA and then reschedule all the other ones behind it, kind of squeeze one at the front.
Yeah.
That way it's not 7 weeks of fender.
Fender, yeah.
Yeah, try to bring those in.
Gabe wants to know, did you find another third member for it?
No, I'm still looking for that. It's kind of like finding, I guess, hen's teeth. It's a tough part to find.
Yeah, worse than a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, it's a needle in a needle. Well, it's an invisible needle in a non-needle stack because there's very few of them out there and nobody knows what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so still looking. So if you come across a strange engineering cast aluminum 12-bolt drop-in for a 9-inch housing, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to have a spare so we can have a Bonneville gear and an El Mirage gear without having to reset up the ring and pinion.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, you want to talk about what you worked on this week? 'Cause
Sure.
I think it was the Mustang, right?
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I got email confirmation that the engine for the Indy Roadster is finally shipped.
Yay.
So hopefully we'll have a box
Do you want me
next
to show
week.
this?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is an original Watson blueprint,
Oh.
and here's some of the car. And we'd been waiting so long on the engine. When did I order that? September?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it was September, and he's like, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. Well, here we are in February, and it finally just now shipped. That we were debating just putting a small block in it, just getting a crate small block, laying
Yeah.
it over on its side. But the engine guy finally came through.
Sweet.
So then we don't have to worry about quite as much stuff.
Dennis wants to know if we are getting snow this weekend. I'm not sure.
I don't think we're getting snow this weekend. It's still daylight out, so you can see.
Yeah, it's still daylight out, which is super exciting in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, and you can see some of the
So
some of the lovely snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and cold.
Yeah, it's freezing. And then Gabe wants to know. He said, "Send me a picture of it. We're hitting a swap meet this weekend. I'll keep an eye out."
Cool.
Yeah.
I definitely will. So this week, well, with it being the new month, I
Yeah.
came in, laid out all of our month, and I've got a bunch of tube bending jobs I have to do in the next couple weeks. I'm waiting on, I had to order some tubing, so that should be here, and then I can do some of these bending jobs. But got everything scheduled out. Brian is out of the shop this week. He's working at sick week down in Florida. So Jamie was in Florida last week. Now Brian's down there. And
We're trading horror stories of
Yeah.
packing long sleeves and sweatshirts for Florida.
yeah, so I worked on the Mustang this week. Next week I'll do the other Watson trailer fender. Then I'll be on the convertible. Then I'll be on the sedan. And then the month's over.
Yeah, short month.
Yep. So what I've been doing on the Mustang is I got the deck lid mounted. So if you come around this way, got the deck lid mounted. It kind of squared up. The customer doesn't like this drop down. So where this tape is, I'm going to make a new body line all the way across and cut this off. And then I started making the new quarter extensions, because if you come over here, Jamie, you can see this is why I'm making them, because the pot metal ones don't fit.
Oh, yeah.
And especially since I put a 69 center tail pan, it really
Yeah,
doesn't
big
fit.
gap.
There's a gap there, it's tight here, and a gap there, and they don't fit nice. And if you look on this side, this is standard kind of Mustang fit up, which I don't like.
Terrible.
Terrible. I'll talk about the bumper in a second too. But I started making the passenger side quarter extension. So it has a 14 gauge steel plate that is this shape, and it bolts up against the quarter, and then I'm making all of this in sheet metal. So I made from here up, and it's broke over 3/4 of an inch. Then I have this piece that's got the reverse in it, and I'll flange that here, put the body line in to tie in. And then in here, you can see this kind of fills that gap up a lot, and it comes over, in, up, over, and back.
Ew.
So it's all fully finished out. Um, wish the bumper wasn't on so you could see it, but we were talking with doing the 69 tail pan. You change one thing and that changes everything.
Yeah.
So this is a stock 67, 68 bumper. It cuts part of the taillights off and it cuts part of the gas filler off. The easiest way to correct that is I'm gonna cut it where this yellow tape is. And like now the bumper's kind of shaped like this. This part I'm gonna push down flat.
Okay.
So from this peak, it'll be flat in this angle. And I've got kind of some work notes. Like currently the bumper is at 115 degree bend. The way I want to modify it, it'll take it to a 130 degree bend, drop that below the taillight, and it'll change kind of the whole aesthetic. So that's kind of where I am with the Mustang.
Yeah. Sounds like a small change, but also like
You change one
it's
small
gonna be
thing,
big, huge.
it's huge. Because you're talking days of work just to get to this point, and then I still have to finish it. There's still 3 or 4 more pieces I have to make to finish this side of the extension. Then I have to duplicate it to the other side.
Yeah.
Then I have to make half of the bumper, and then I have to, we're not going to,
Do you have to rise it up a little bit on the?
well, I'm gonna cut this apart and make everything fit.
Yeah,
Like we're not
yeah.
gonna flush it. Like we don't want it to be like a chip foose modern, but we want the gaps to be a little bit better.
A little bit closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll modify all of that. Yeah, just a ton of work. You change one little thing and it changes the next 100 steps behind it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of where
Interesting.
we stand with that. I was really happy with the way this reverse piece turned out. It was actually pretty tricky due to the size.
Yeah, because it's so little?
Yeah. Like once you get into panel, like I can put my hand here, it's a little bit bigger than my hand, but you're dealing with all these intricate, dainty little pieces, and it makes it so much harder to work in the bigger machines and just not have your hands in the way.
And it's not like you have room for, I think, because you don't have a lot of room for error
Yeah.
either. Like if you, since it is like your aim small, miss small, well, the whole piece is small.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah. And then Jamie just ran into the new
Oh yeah,
daily
I did.
work
I
cart.
run into stuff all the time. This is what you missed me.
Yeah.
So someone got a new tool cart.
Yeah. I was running out of room for all of my day-to-day use tools, so I had to upgrade to a bigger one.
Yeah.
You guys can hear Tom working in the background.
Yeah, we got some. Michael Anderson said, "Will the bumper get re-chromed or paint finished?"
It'll be chromed.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to send the bumper out and have the chrome chemically stripped, so then I can do all of my rework, and then we'll send it out and have it re-chromed.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. And Keith Darcy said, did you think of welding those extensions in?
I don't like the look of a welded-in extension, and the customer wanted the seam, because when this car came in, somebody had already made extensions, and they made them out of 1/8-inch steel plate,
Whew.
and they had welded it to the quarter, but then they had came back through and they'd taken a cutoff wheel and put the groove in it, so it looked like it had the seam.
Yeah.
So the client doesn't want it super modernized. That's why he doesn't want super flush fit bumpers. He doesn't want it to look like a car built in 2026.
Yeah, because he wants it to look like.
Yeah, he wants it to look like
pieced
a
together.
Yeah,
weird.
he wants it to look like a concept car or a prototype car from the late 60s.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave that seam. We're just going to, when I weld everything together, I'm going to make that gap really tight. So it'll still be gapped, and it'll still have the seam, but it'll look nice and crisp.
Cool. Good question. Interesting.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of that same question on Facebook and Instagram of why am I doing all of this work if I don't want to weld it in? And it's just because these pot metal pieces fit like garbage. And you can't do much with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so thin, even if you heat it up and you try to start massaging it, it's gonna crack.
Yeah.
And it's not like it needs moved 1/16 of an inch. Some spots it needs moved 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
So we're never gonna get these pot metal pieces to do that.
Yeah. Gabe said classic on the outside, modern on the inside? Question mark.
Not even that modern on the inside. Like
Yeah?
it still has a Boss 429 engine in it. I think the most modern thing is the 6-speed transmission.
Okay. Do you know what he's doing for like interior and stuff?
It's going to be somewhat stock looking.
Okay.
It'll be modern materials and a custom job.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want it to look like the cars you see at Detroit or SEMA or anything like that. He doesn't want it to look too modern. He still wants it to look like a traditional Mustang, just with his touches.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's super cool. And I think that's in a way too why he took the job, right? Because it's
Yeah. Well, and
It's
that's
more
and like
interesting.
the interesting. This was one of the first things Tom wanted to look at when he came in. He's like, I want to see this, to see kind of how I was doing that.
Yeah.
And like I'm going to radius this corner when I put that top plate in.
yeah,
But I'm happy with the way it's starting to look.
cool. Yeah, because I don't think you would have taken it because normally you don't work on Mustangs.
Yeah. Well, this is a different kind
Little
of job.
exception. Yeah.
Well, it came in to have the doors gapped and a hood skin made.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it turned into a full build.
It's just been a long time.
Yeah. So, what are the questions you guys
Yeah.
have? Because that's all I've been tinkering with, other than doing some frame rail stuff and some 3D printing stuff.
Yeah. Shipping orders. Did someone buy a baseball shirt? I saw that.
A couple people have bought baseball tees. So, Jamie mentioned the baseball tees in the newsletter. So, hopefully, you
Yeah.
guys have signed up for the newsletter. If not, head over to cornfieldcustomsltd.store. The little pop-up comes up. You can sign up
Yeah.
for the newsletter, and it's not super spammy.
Nah, and
But-
I update it once a month. That's the other thing too. If you ever see something that you'd be curious to know about, feel free to shoot us an email or
Yeah, and
message.
we could talk about it in the newsletter.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be
And we
happy
have
to
the
put that in
reader's
there.
ride section, which
Yeah.
nobody did this month.
No, I know.
So if you have a
Yeah.
project you're working on at home,
Yeah, send it
doesn't even have
in.
to be car related. We can throw that in the
Oh,
reader's
yeah.
rides.
Maybe we should add some people's 3D printed stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, airplanes, boats,
Yeah.
Cars.
Motorcycles.
yeah, any kind of project
Yeah.
that you want to be thrown out into the reader's rides.
Yeah. And then you can put your Instagram stuff on there too.
Mm-hmm.
We'd share that if you want people to follow along or whatever.
Yeah, and if you want the deeper dive of that, you can always join the Discord, which
Yeah.
we do have a Discord question for the live. So
Oh, we
in
did?
case Dalton's not here yet, I haven't
I
heard you
don't
mention
think
him.
he's here yet.
Okay.
Dalton, if you're here, raise your hand.
Yeah, because Dalton had a question that we could talk about on the live. So we'll give him a little bit longer to tune in if he's not here.
Yeah, we'll give him a minute.
Yeah. Any other questions you guys want?
Gabe wants to know how the grumble is liking the cold weather.
Oh, the new one?
The grumble of pugs, I would
Yeah,
say,
well,
all three.
Daisy, the girl pug, doesn't like it, but she's old.
She's, old and
Pretzel doesn't like it because he's
Short.
Pretzel.
well, and he's like short-haired, I think.
Yeah. And Yuki, the white pug, he absolutely loves the snow.
He's like a polar bear.
Yeah. He likes to go out and run around, and then he just plops down in the snow, belly first, chews
Yeah.
on it, and then gets up and runs around.
Yeah.
And
It's like, no, you have to go to the bathroom, my friend. And
Yeah.
then he'll chase Pretzel out there. Pretzel will then like play in the snow, but only because Yuki is, not because of,
Yeah.
not voluntarily.
yeah, Yuki just loves the snow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've got a good amount at the house. Oh, I guess it's the same amount here,
Yeah.
really. It's slowly starting to melt a little bit every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and for anybody that is kind of in the area or wants to make the trip,
Oh, yeah?
tomorrow is February's garage night. So the
Yeah.
first Friday night of each month, as long as I'm in town, from 5 to 8. We open the shop to the public. I made a little short video about that, but that's what garage night is. Gives you a chance to come in, check out the shop, check out all my junk, and
Yeah, ask
Just
questions.
ask
if you-
questions, just kind of hang out. It's a little bit of me being able to give back to the car community. So it's nothing that spectacular, but a lot of people seem to like it. And we've been doing it a long time because we
Yeah.
were doing it pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah, because I remember we were trying to figure out what to do, if we should keep it or not.
Yeah, we
during
canceled
COVID.
it for a while.
We did. We canceled it for a while for COVID.
Yeah. So I mean,
'Cause
it's
we didn't want anyone
yeah.
to call.
yeah, it's been like 6+ years that we've been doing garage night.
Yeah.
So been a thing.
Brandon's here. He said, "Hey, y'all."
yep. Hey, Brandon.
Oh, Matt Lawton said, "Would you fill over weld through primer?" Not quite sure what that means.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then T Saint said, "How do you feel about the Amber and Slonaker winners this year?"
I really liked the Amber car. It was one of my. Granted, I wasn't there to look it over, but I liked that one a lot when I saw pictures of it. And the Slonaker, I've talked to those guys before. It kind of surprised me that a Volkswagen won, but they build really nice stuff, and it was a very impressive car in the pictures. So I mean, I think both are very well deserved.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's all we got for questions. I think next year, I think if you had it your way, you would have gone, but it
Yeah.
always works at my work conference, is usually on the same weekend. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens next year if it's on the same weekend again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like going to Grand National. It's one of the only shows that I like to go to.
Yeah, yeah. And Matt said, don't forget to like because likes are free. Agreed, Matt. Yeah, if you guys give us some likes.
Yeah, likes, comments,
Comment.
questions.
Yeah, if you want
Share
to
with
see
a friend.
anything in the background.
Yeah, because right now we've still got about a half an hour to go, so there's still plenty of time to get those questions
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
No other questions?
No, no.
Man,
What else did you want to ramble about?
I don't know.
I don't know. You've had 2 weeks.
I know.
You should have
But
thought about it.
I know.
Do you want to show your cart? I don't know. It's kind of weird. But
What?
Your new cart?
If somebody wants to see it, we can, but
Yeah. What are we looking at?
I got a bicycle rack for some of my old junky BMX bikes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I don't think we had the e-bike back together yet.
No.
So we can talk about that. This is the e-bike that we modified or customized to match the MGA. So powder coated to match the green. I made moon discs for it. They're just flat moon discs. Put a round light on it. And I've got little winglets that will bolt on here that have the car number and Lyme disease on it. Those are being painted at the pinstriper, and then this could be wrapped up. I started shaving the back tires to try to make them smooth like a land speed tire, and after about 40 minutes and not getting anywhere, I gave up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty happy with the way it came out.
Yeah, it looks pretty cute.
Yeah.
T Saint said, people aren't asking questions because they're too busy listening.
Huh.
Because you are a pro rambler. That's for sure.
I guess.
I guess. Now he's going to stop because
Yeah.
I called him on. So why do you like these bikes? Why did you pick these bikes to pick up?
Is that a Jamie question or?
It's a Jamie question.
So this one, the We the People, I always wanted a 16-inch bike, and I thought it would be cool to have a 16 and a 20 of the same model. So We the People did those. I have the 16-inch bike, so I need to find the 20-inch, and then I'll have the matching set.
So you want the two of the same bikes?
They're not the same. One's a 16 and one's a 20.
It's kind of like when I have the book with a different cover. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
Or different format.
And then the one with purple wheels is a Van Homan series.
Oh, light turned on.
Yeah, because I grabbed the brake handle. This was my bike that I rode. I think I got this in 2012.
I was gonna say you've had that one for a while.
Yeah, I've had that one a while. And I took it down just to clean it up, and then it's Fit made it, and the Pro Rider series are collectible, so I don't want to trash it. So then I bought a newer Fit bike for if I get back into riding. I have a modern bike to ride. And then I used to ride Specialized bikes as a kid, and the Specialized 415 was out of my price range. So I found a good deal for that one on Marketplace. And then I have the Specialized Fat Boy that is in California still, waiting on Mackie to ship that over. And because that was the one I bought when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So same color and everything, and then that'll be here. And this is kind of funny. I know it just looks like a wheel, but I had a Specialized bike, and I worked all summer to afford to buy it. And then that whole year, I worked and saved up to buy Alex triple wall rims with Odyssey hubs, which is a big deal. I think I paid $500 for the wheels.
And that was 20 years ago?
Yeah, and I mean, I was 13 years old.
Oh, more than that then.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really expensive.
Yeah.
And then that bike, you ride it and you trash it. And I think in 2012, I was just going to throw the bike away. And my buddy John took the wheels and saved them. So that is the wheel. That's the front wheel that I bought when I was a kid. And he's still trying to track down the back wheel. So all these years later, almost 30 years, 28 years?
Yeah.
28 years later, I still have the wheel that I worked a whole year to afford to buy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got a couple questions.
Yeah.
So Michael wants to know, when you went on the road to do your classes,
Yep.
how were the Metal Master machines compared to the Bailey equipment?
They're just different.
Do we want to go out to the machines or stay here?
I mean, we don't have to go out to the machines.
Okay.
They're just different. The Bailey machines, they hit a lot harder. They're bigger and they're more efficient, but they're more expensive. So the Metal Master machines are more of like an entry-level style machine. The smaller ones, they take a lot to make them work efficiently. If that's all you've got, they'll do the job. But I found it working a little slow, and you had to use a lot more user input to get the metal to move the way you wanted it compared to a Bailey machine. And it's almost like driving like a high-performance sports car and then going back to a Toyota Corolla. They're both cars, they both get you places, but when you start with something that's more high-performance professional level and you take a step back,
You feel the
it's
difference.
a little frustrating.
Yeah.
The good thing with the Metal Master stuff, in Australia, they're very affordable. So I think that's where it comes in. Like, you can't get the Metal Master stuff in the States other than the small hammer, and that'll be through Eastwood and I think Grizzly. Maybe Woodward Fab too. But it's a good value, but it's not going to shape like a Bailey or a Legacy style machine.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip around and come back to a question. But someone just made a comment saying they're a bit older, so they had DG with tough wheels.
Yeah.
And then Jeff wants to know any plans for Elmo this year.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be there in May. That's the plan.
The plan.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the car keeps on keeping on. And
Yeah. Hopefully we're figuring out the stability issue. I mean, we're not really going to know until we get out there, but we're making realistic plans and realistic improvements that make sense not just to us, but to other land speed racers that agree with our modifications to hopefully make it more stable. That's just the big thing, is it's got plenty of power. It's just getting it to stay stable at speed.
Someone else said, again, I'm skipping around a little bit, but they said for like when you're comparing machines, they said like driving like a Supra. And then Reese said, talk about your new tool cart arrangement. Also, any learnings you've been having with the 3D printing now that you've had it for a bit.
What was a 3D printer? Any learnings?
Yeah. What have you learned?
One thing that I found is dealing with the fusion. Like, I would go in and remodify a drawing and not realize that it changed something somewhere else. So then it would make it struggle when I was importing it into the slicer. So I'm just being way more aware that to double check my work and make sure that nothing changes that I didn't want changed.
Yeah. Unintended consequences.
Yeah, pretty much. Because it creates a struggle later on, whether it doesn't print right or you can't even, like, you import it and the pieces aren't connected. So then you start dragging it around and they start separating. So it just, that kind of stuff, just make sure I'm paying attention. I haven't been doing as much printing as I would hoped, but the printer is still running almost daily.
Yeah.
It's just doing organizers for the AN fitting, storage, and that kind of stuff.
Reese also said, is that because the slicer didn't think it was a solid anymore?
Yes, because like when what it was I don't think I've got one up here. It's one of the storage pieces for the AN fitting drawers, and I went from a 4 divider into a single, so I had to redraw it, and I extruded up and down and then modified it, and when I extruded it, it had moved it and it didn't connect it. It thought it was a new body. It wasn't joined. So then when I imported it into the slicer, it thought it was multiple bodies and they moved independently. So I had to go back into the drawing and make sure to rejoin everything.
You want to talk about your new tool cart?
Yeah.
I'll show that. It's pretty, I will say that. I was like, another tool cart?
Yeah.
But I do kind of have to give you a little bit of a break because I don't know the last time you bought a new tool cart.
Yeah, so the top is set up pretty similar to how it was in my old cart. I just moved things around to make it more efficient. So all of the red, I'm really big on this gridlock system. So it's like a plastic pegboard and you put all these little grid fixtures in it. So everything red is SAE, everything blue is metric. Obviously I don't have a lot of metric tools because I don't do a lot of metric stuff. So all of my go-to stuff is here in the top. Layout tools, I kind of mix in where I can. And if you want to come around this way, Jamie.
And it's hard
So
to
like,
get you and the stuff in the shot.
So like this, they don't make anything to hold it. So I came up with just a real simple 3D print for that. And then the same thing for this, if you can get that. This is just goes into like a screw impact. So I made the little tray. And the one that's going to get super silly is like if I get in a mental block, I need to do something to distract myself and kind of clear my mind. So usually I'll like bounce a ball. So I made this for my racquetball.
Yeah.
So just 3D printed.
Little cup.
Yep. And it, yeah. So I have to have a special, special holder for my thinking ball. One thing I like about this is it's got they call it a sidekick, and it's got these attachment points. So that just clips on, and you can move that around. So I've got one for my headphones. I've got a cup holder to hold markers and pencils.
And a cup holder for actual drinks.
Yeah, actual beverages. And one thing I didn't think I would use, but I actually do like it, is this whole side pulls out, and then all of my battery-powered tools can go in here. It had provisions for the chargers, but since I don't use the charging system in this, because I have a dedicated charger box, I just store everything in here, and it's got a secret special drawer.
Secret squirrel drawer.
Yeah. For my girlfriend's underwears. That's where I hide them. Yeah, and then just, like this is kind of interesting. This is not a drawer. It's a writing station.
How much you hate me?
Yeah. Yeah, so then just standard, same way it was before, but the drawers are a little bit bigger, so I have more room. So all of my air tools, hammers and dollies and things like that. And I actually have an empty drawer.
Whoa.
Because my other box was getting full, and
that's why you need this box.
that's why I need this one. And I even took some stuff out of my big box and put in this, and I still have one full empty drawer and almost a
you
second
got room in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have room to grow, and that's just the thing. Is I didn't want it to be a lateral move. I wanted room to add on because I'm always getting new stuff.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is now that blocks the view. But that's okay,
Well,
I guess.
this is here because I was working on the Mustang.
Yeah, it's true. And you can
So
it does have
tomorrow I'm
wheels.
going to wheel it to the back because we're going to be working on the MG all weekend.
Roll it around. We got some questions. Reese also said, does Fusion have a way of telling you it's a solid?
I'm sure it does, but I'm not smart enough to know that.
And then Gabe wants to know who makes the grid setup. Like, where did you get that?
Hold on, I got their business card. I've been using it a long time. Like I get it through Matco, but another company makes it.
Do you want me to stay here?
Yeah, stay here. I'll grab the card because I talked to them at SEMA this year.
Oh, fancy. Yeah, Reese, I don't know if he did it in this one, but in his bigger one, I think he's got like those foam pieces too to keep stuff from sliding around.
C-Tech Manufacturing. So they do aluminum carts, cabinets, and drawers, and then they make the grid stuff. Yeah, so the tool grid, and like I've got a bunch of these little fixtures that all different things.
You missed it, but Reese said that grid would be better in the drawers to stop stuff from sliding around and messing up the layout.
Yep.
But I told him about your foam thingies.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it's in your other toolbox.
Well, the problem is like the grid thing would be really great for that if they had stuff for like the air tools.
Yeah.
Which they don't.
It sounds like an empty spot in the market someone could make.
So there it is on my wrench drawer. So I use it in the drawers and the bigger box.
Yeah. Because that's the one that
because
doesn't
like
go
up here is like all.
I
This one
can't.
is just my tool grid junk drawer.
I see it.
So it's just all the little fixtures. But they don't make ones for pliers. They don't make ones for air tools. So I would have to draw those to scale and then make everything bolt in, which I just don't have time to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I'd like to do one for like my dial calipers. I use dial calipers a lot. So I'd like to print one that goes in the top, but I haven't had time to take a picture and draw my dial calipers and extrude that up into a printable part yet.
Brandon said, what's up next on the MG? Did you ever get the header out?
Nope, the header is still in there. I'm gonna have to cut a tube out of the chassis if I wanna do it, and I just haven't decided if I'm gonna get that deep or if I'm just gonna deal with the flange that's on the header. So it's still in there. I'll probably make that decision this week.
Yeah, that's probably this weekend. You're lucky someone just said to me, Jamie, don't feel bad. I have 7 boxes around the garage. How many boxes do you have? I guess just the
Yeah, so like
3.
I've got this toolbox, I've got my
Yeah, you got another
day-to-day
one.
use cart,
Yeah.
and that's all the stuff I use almost daily. I have,
There's another tool cart.
well, I have this box, but it's all
Yeah.
machine tool stuff. So
Yeah.
drill bits, end mills, everything to do with the lathes and mills. So
Yeah.
that's, I don't know if I really count that.
Yeah, because you don't use it every day necessarily. It's more like
But then in the
storage.
back, we have
true.
a toolbox in the race trailer that's full of tools, and then each race car has its own dedicated
tool
pit box.
Yeah.
So the red car up front, it has its own toolbox and toolkit that is special for it. The MGA has the same thing, but
Yep.
they're small.
But they're small. Yeah.
yeah.
Those are
So you can just 2 guys can pick it up and throw it in the bed of a truck.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, and a lot of the race car ones, those are like Harbor Freight.
No,
No, that's nice stuff too. I
Yeah.
thought- oh, it's the, is it the trailer that some of
the
it's not-
trailer is a Home Depot box.
Yeah, Home Depot one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I say somewhere you got not super nice stuff because you're afraid.
Yeah, the boxes are nice, but I buy a lot of Icon tools just because they're going to the salt.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to buy a snap-on wrench that's going to get ruined because it's
Right.
highly corrosive.
Right.
But like I have a snap-on toolbox for the MGA, and it's got a lot of Craftsman and Matco tools in it that were just good deals, and I threw them in there.
Yeah. Reese said perfect when you saw your other setup. Michael said 3 print a couple for pliers.
Yeah, I'd have to scan them to get. Every set of pliers is different, and if I'm
True.
going to do it, I want it to fit really nice.
Yeah.
So I'll either have to draw it or scan it, and then I could do that.
Yeah. And then T Saints is also who said, like, don't feel bad. They said, he's like, Mike, though, has boxes for dedicated jobs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and like the big thing is like if one of my teammates wants to take the red car to Bonneville and I want to take the MGA, then we're not using the same tools because we could get onto different courses
Yeah.
or that kind of stuff. And then you know like Tom likes working out of the MGA box when he's working on the MGA because then he's not taking tools out of this cart that we're not going to have at Bonneville. He knows, hey, we need this tool, we need this tool, we need this tool to be in that box.
So it's kind of like, I think of like this people on the space shuttle. Like they
Yeah.
only have these
They only
things.
have the tools they need
have.
for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And it's the same thing. We're making sure that we have all the tools to do all the tasks on that car
yeah.
while
and
we're
you
racing.
can do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Brandon said, how much mileage do you get out of Icon tools that go to the salt? Do they rust each season, or do you get a few seasons out of them?
You would get, well, it depends. I'm really weird with tools. Like we don't leave them laying around. They get put back, they get wiped down, all of that kind of stuff. If you don't take care of your tools, obviously they're going to get rusty if you lay them on the salt. So in reality, you should be able to get a lifetime out of them if you take care of them. But you get guys on the team that lay stuff somewhere or it gets kicked under the trailer and you find it when you move the trailer.
That's never happened.
No, I mean, none of my tools are rusty from the salt.
Yeah.
It's usually like a lot of the tools that came with the MGA, they were rusty because it had been sitting they'd been sitting in boxes
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it was just the lack of use and being in a box.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about with like cars, really.
Yeah.
Even that, like, it's worse really to let them sit.
Yeah.
Doesn't help them at all.
Yeah, so what other questions you guys have?
We're caught up for now, so
All caught up?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, too, guys. I have a little bit of a cold. Got the airport crud.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people at work are sick. So it's that time of year. 'Tis the season, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I think Sunday we're going to try to record the next episode in the podcast, so season 4, episode 3. Tom has to fly home Sunday, and he was in the last one, so it'll be just me and Jamie. So if you want to get any talking
Yeah.
points in, you can drop those in the comment section after this drops. You can email me. You can comment on the Discord.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff. Is Dalton in here yet, or is he going to catch up later?
Yeah, he might be catching up later. He's going to be bummed. He got shouted out so many times.
Okay.
He missed it.
So his question, we'll come around this side. Do you have a
I've
question?
got some questions though, too.
Okay, and then we'll answer Dalton's question.
Okay. Michael said rusty tools and some evapo rust and then
Yep.
some hot oil. Yep. And then Brandon wants to know, do you take a mobile welding rig to the salt?
I have in the past, but if we're trying to weld something, we've got big issues. So
Hopefully it doesn't get that far.
hopefully it doesn't get that far. The generator will run a small welder. I just get more worried transporting argon bottles that far strapped in the trailer. So
You don't want to explode.
yeah. Any other questions?
Just Brandon said he also has the crud, and then someone else said, welcome back to the shop, and they hope I feel better. Thanks. So yeah, what's Dalton's question?
So Dalton's question, I think it's a 39. I don't have my phone, it's on the charger. He's doing a 39 Ford Coupe, and he has to do lower door patches, like lower door skins. And he asked, where is the best place to splice that in? I don't have a 39 or a 40 here to show, so we'll use the 51 because it's kind of similar. My thought on that process is if you only have to put a lower skin on it and you're capable of making your own door skin, it's not much more work to make it from here to here as it is from here to here. Time-wise, it might add 15 or 20 minutes. But where you're going to save time if you do a larger panel is trying to weld through here is going to be a nightmare. So I try to bring it up to where there's a body line or a piece of trim. So like if I were to have to skin this door, I would bring it up to about here. That way I have the shape of the radius to help keep things nice and tight. And most people will be looking for the seam down here.
Yeah.
So it's like magic, sleight of hand. We're gonna put the seam up here instead of down there.
So that they wouldn't even look for it, and if they did, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They probably won't notice.
Yeah, like same thing like when I do Model A doors.
Yeah, you tuck it under the...
Yeah, we've talked about it before, is most people will put that seam here or here. When I splice in a Model A door, I do it right in the middle of this bead. The bead's gonna help hold some of that structure, help keep it from distorting as bad, and then everybody's gonna be like, man, I can't even feel that weld seam because they're not even looking in the right spot.
Because there ain't no weld seam there.
That's right. So it's the same thing with that 39 that Dalton's working on, is you want to take that up and not be in the middle of that shape because you're right in the apex of the compound shape. Take it up beyond that, get close to a body line or a change in direction. So it'll help hold some of that rigidity in the panel.
Smart.
Yep, so if he's not here, he blew it.
He blew it. No.
He blew it, yeah.
Hopefully that's helpful for
Yeah,
him. Well,
hopefully.
hopefully he watches this later.
Yeah, and the same thing, like he asked me that on the Discord, and I could have just answered it on the Discord, but he said to answer it tonight in the live. So if you guys want access to pretty much 24/7 Q&A, I do answer all my DMs in the Discord server, and it is a group chat.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that out. We got a few new members this week, and it's greatly appreciated.
And early access to the podcast and full access
Full
to the
access to the podcast.
And early.
Yeah, and you get the video.
And
so
the video.
If you're a patron and on Discord, you get access to the full length, not just the first 30 minutes, and you get a video version as well.
Yeah.
So you can see who's saying what and when. And in the past episode, Jamie's water cup is right front and center blocking most of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah.
Brandon said, would you do the same on that front lower panel on the Model A that always rusts out? Take it up higher than the rust repair.
So if I was making this piece, I would just do the whole thing. And I would splice it right here. Just make the whole thing, because this is a bolt-on piece, and it has spot welds through there. Just make the whole piece one and done.
Yeah. Did you do that?
I did not do that.
I was going to say, I don't think you did that, but...
No.
Okay.
No. I think that patch is made out of a washing machine, because there was a lot of that porcelain-covered or porcelain-coated sheet metal on this. So that's one thing I haven't patched yet.
How old of a washing machine?
Oh, I didn't do the patches.
I know. Oh.
So next week, I'm going to try to get this quarter dialed in. I want to get a little bit more shaping done in that corner to correct it so they match, and I'll get ready to put these on.
Cool.
So that's next week's task.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what questions you guys got? Anything? Because we're going to start wrapping up because I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah, me too. And
yeah, but you guys don't have to go anywhere yet. So get those questions in. We got a few more
got a
minutes.
few more minutes. Michael said possibly done by Fitzy. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, we all know who did the car.
Yeah,
But,
I've heard the name, but I've never watched his videos. Not.
I don't know.
I
We
don't know.
just, We did. Oh, should tell them about that cool guy we found, or that someone sent you the video of his 3D print.
Printed radio.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know the name, but a guy is like 3D printing these vintage style radios, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like you turn it on, it makes the old like squeaky, fuzzy noises, and he programs like 20s and 30s radio programs on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the part that I thought was cool is it's totally I don't know.
Offline.
Offline, yeah. I'm like, what's the word for it? It's not relying on the internet.
Yeah.
So like you add the files, like you add the album and the files and stuff, and it's all on. So that's pretty cool.
And he's donating them to like memory care centers for like
Yeah.
elderly people because it just has one knob and a button. You know,
Yeah.
it's not anything fancy. You
But
turn
it's
it on,
super
adjust the
cute.
volume, and then you hit the button to change the song.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
Dennis wants to know what's for dinner. So Tom's here. So we're thinking either Skyline.
Yeah, Skyline,
'cause
or
he
there's a
loves
little
Skyline.
Yeah, or there's a mom and pop restaurant that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's by
That's-
us.
yeah,
That's
along the way home.
delish. Yeah, it's on the way home. Ooh, I like this username. Dr. Pepper 96. What's the best way to limit distortion welding sheet metal patches in? Like as far as the welding procedure?
Make sure that your amperage is set right. Make sure you're TIG welding your panel instead of MIG welding. Use just enough filler rod to be slightly proud of the parent material, and don't do short stitches. Once you get it all tacked, hammer and dolly it out, and then one long continuous weld from end to end. That way you're getting one long even heat cycle versus dozens of short inconsistent heat cycles, and then hammer and dolly the weld seam back out. You're going to get distortion because anytime heat is introduced into a panel, it's going to move around, and as it contracts and cools, that's where your distortion comes from. So as long as that is even and consistent, it's easy to correct that by hammering and dollying that weld seam right back out.
Yeah, he also asks again if you have to MIG because you don't have what if you have to MIG because you don't have a TIG?
I'm not good at answering that because I just don't feel you're going to get good results with a MIG welder because you're going to have to tack it all, grind the weld both sides, hammer and dolly it, then tack in between those tacks and repeat that process. And you're essentially stacking hundreds of tacks across a panel. And a MIG weld is going to be hard and brittle, prone to cracking. So
He's just a MIG hater.
no, there's a reason. With it being 2026, TIG welders are extremely affordable. You can get a nice TIG welding setup for a few $100. I recommend anybody getting into that. It's not like you have to go out and spend 10 grand on a Dynasty.
Yeah.
You know, just get a small, even a Harbor Freight TIG welder will be fine on sheet metal. It just makes things so much faster, more efficient, and easier.
Two things. Michael said Fitzy uses lots of shelving and powder-coated steel for body panels in Canada because metal's so expensive.
Yeah, no
And-
thank you.
Yeah. Dalton's here. He said, sorry, Mike just got able to join the live. Were people texting you? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we waited and waited and waited, and we just answered your question.
Yeah.
Literally 5 minutes ago. So you're going to have to wait for it to drop.
now you
and
got to
go
watch
back.
the recap. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. And then Dr. Pepper said, understood, budget builds, sweaty emoji. So
Yeah.
you get that though.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I understand budget build, but if it takes you 10 times as long to MIG weld it as it would TIG welding it, you're going to save time and money up front buying a cheaper TIG welder. You know, it's going to be more expensive at the front, but it's going to save you hours and hours and hours.
Buy
off the
once,
back end.
cry once.
Yeah. And like I said, go out and you can even get on Craigslist or Marketplace.
Yeah.
Like I think I've got a little inverter machine that I think I paid $300 for. It's a little Arc Dynamics and it works fine.
Yeah.
So you don't have to break the bank.
Yeah. ADD Garage said just bought a $99 DC only TIG.
Yeah.
And then Brandon said, I used one of those little cheap Weaver welders for like 2 years. It was a champ, super cheap.
Yeah.
And then Dalton said his ears were burning.
Yeah.
And Brandon said he only recently upgraded to an AC/DC last year, but abused that little DC TIG and was pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised. So,
Yeah, and that's just the thing is, I'm a big fan of buying once. You know, like
Yeah.
don't buy something cheap, and then 2 years down the road buying something a little bit better. Like I would rather spend the money up front, but that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So if you have to buy it in stages, just don't don't keep buying just the minimum. You know, use a cheaper machine until you feel that it's justifiable to step it up. And then same thing, get an AC/DC, then you can do aluminum panels. Just make sure it's something you can add on to if you want to add a water cooler or anything like that.
Yeah, Michael said low cost DC TIG, great way to get into TIG, and his chappy blew a circuit, so just lashed out for a Lincoln multi-process. Yeah. Sonola Bug said hi, and Gabe said got an Eastwood TIG 200, works fairly decent.
Yeah, and I've heard good things about the Eastwood and the Everlast. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to go out and buy a Lincoln and a Miller.
And that's what Brandon said too. He's got the same one that Gabe has, and he really likes it.
Yeah.
And ADD Garage said I almost bought a Synchro Wave 200 for $1,700, but then I thought about just a few times I do aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have a Synchro Wave 200, and then I have a Synchro Wave 350 DX with the integrated water cooler and all that stuff. And, you know, I mean, my DX, or my 200 does the exact same stuff the 350 does. It's just, and I mean, there's good deals. Like, I think you can buy a used 200 for around $900 right now.
Cool. Well, you want to start wrapping it up?
Yeah. Make sure if you've got any more questions, get those in. We got a few minutes to go, and then we'll go grab Tom and go get dinner.
Yeah.
But if you like what we do here and you want to help support, all you have to do is make sure to comment, like, make sure the notification bell is on. That way you guys know when new videos drop. All of that stuff helps a ton, and it doesn't cost anything. You know, comments help boost the algorithm, liking, sharing, all of that stuff to get our videos in front of new members, because we're going to push really hard. I'd like to get as close to 100,000 new subscribers this year, which is a very lofty goal, because I think we're only at 38,000.
Yeah.
So we got a long way to go, but I think the more subscribers and the more traction we get, I'll be able to focus a lot more on the race car stuff and getting more content and better content out, because that will help offset some of the cost of when I'm not working in the shop. You know, doing videos does take a lot of time, which is out of time I can work and make money to make the business profitable. So anything you guys can do that way is greatly appreciated. And like I said, it's free. So if you want to support more, you can head over to Patreon, become a patron. That gets you access to the Discord server, gets you discounts, early access to videos, access to full-length podcast episodes, and it'll even be with the High Speed Social. You guys will be invited to that, which is a private event here at the shop at the end of July.
Yeah, I got a bunch of comments. So thanks, guys. Everyone's saying thank you and stay safe, enjoy dinner. Michael said you can get so many reasonable price machines in the U.S. for sure, not as many in Australia. And Dalton said thanks. Have a good night. Enjoy dinner. Like the video, people, and enjoy the Discord. Thank you. Gabe said enjoy dinner. Stay warm out that way. He said it's in the 60s there. Kind of actually jealous of that.
Yeah, well, that's what Tom said. He was.
Oh yeah,
it was 85 yesterday. And I'm like, oh, it must be nice.
Must be nice. I know. I'm like, we don't have to live here. ADD Garage said glad you guys are back this week. Had a little bit of withdrawal last week. Well, thanks. I'm glad we're
and just to plug the Discord again, like if you're able to join the Discord, then you have access to both of us all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not just once a week. So.
Dr. Pepper said, appreciate the advice. He just found us, so just subscribe. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you subscribing. And we have hundreds of videos that talk about welding and distortion and how to correct that. So make sure to check out a lot of those videos where we're welding in patch panels, especially the Watson fender, because we did super close up. This is one long continuous weld seam front to back, and it talks about fit up, tacking it, welding it, and finishing it out.
Yeah.
So we have lots of videos into fitting and welding.
Yeah. And Michael said, ARC Captain multi-process, and yes, welders come highly recommended by many. And Brandon said, definitely enjoying the Discord.
Yeah, thank you.
He said it's 65 there. Golly, guys. But Dennis is like us. He says 23 in Philly. So we're about the same, Dennis. And hopefully, I was telling Mike, I'm like, I think it's going to be like in the mid-30s tomorrow, so maybe things will like melt a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I think we're all caught up. So
yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Make sure if you have questions, whether you're on the Discord or not, for the podcast that me and Jamie are probably going to record on Sunday. make sure to get those in either on Discord, email, or drop it in the comment section once this video reloads, and we can get those discussion points in the podcast, and we'll give you a shout out. Make sure to check out the website. We are getting new tools coming in, hopefully soon, just waiting on the machinist.
I was going to plug classes real quick because it's sold out, but you have a class next weekend.
Yep.
But we have a couple other classes on the store that are further out in 2026 that are not sold out. So we have some space still if you have not.
And if you
thought about that.
The class next weekend, Nick Calgaro from Catskill Mountain Customs will be here, so he's going to do an episode of the podcast as well. If you have questions you want to be talked about with him, make sure to get those in. Again, if you can, share, comment, like, subscribe. Make sure the notification bell is on because all of that stuff greatly helps out. And
you guys know the drill. And Gabe said, check out the pods; they're worth it. So that's the last one. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and we will be here next Thursday. Nick might be here. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see
I think he's coming in Thursday. I don't know if he's going to come into the shop.
Okay.
But he might be on, so make sure to stick around, and Nick might be floating around. But yeah, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the continued support. Make sure to check out some of the great long format videos we have on the channel and upcoming videos. And we will catch you guys next week, live and dirty at 5:30. Thanks a lot.
Bye.